seated.
Welcome to Talk Law Radio with attorney Todd Marquardt of the Marquardt Law Firm at marquardtlawfirm.com.
Welcome back to Talk Law Radio. I'm Todd Marquardt, on the radio, on podcasts everywhere, on Facebook Live, on YouTube, and on talklawradio.com. I was just talking about the mayor's race and how I've been interviewing some of the candidates. And candidate for mayor Clayton Perry called in and said that he did want to set something up so that he could be interviewed, so that you can get to know him a little bit before you decide to vote Tuesday, April 22nd through the 29th, or on May 3rd. Now I'd like to switch gears a little bit and start talking about the school choice, school vouchers issue. What do you think about that? The Texas legislature has passed a couple of bills. Senate Bill 2 has passed both the House and the Senate. I believe that House Bill 2 has only passed the House. And so I'll try and tell you what I know about those two bills. But I also want to hear from you about what you think about school choice. Is this the worst idea ever, or is this the best idea ever? I was scrolling through X, formerly known as Twitter, to find some opinions. And of course, that's the platform where you get to see the most extreme opinions. So I'll share some of those with you. Unless you want to talk to me about school choice right now, Saturday, April 19th, 2025, call 210-308-8867, 210-308-8867, or post a comment on the Talk Law Radio page. We're live on Facebook right now. So we're going to be talking, this is a legal issue blind spot, school choice, because the way that schools are funded in Texas are partially through the property taxes, and everybody pays property taxes one way or another. Even if you're renting, part of the money that you pay for rent, the landlord is going to use to pay the property taxes on the property. And so if property taxes were lower, everybody would save money, including presumably those people that are paying rent. And so the buzz right now is all about school choice, because the governor and the representatives in Texas have been focusing on this like a laser this legislative session. It's the 89th legislative session. And people that have kids or grandkids, I'm sure that school is important to you. Whether you send your kids to public school or private school or charter school or homeschool, you're doing so for a reason, because that's where you think that your child is going to thrive, going to learn the most about math, reading, science, history. And so do you think the best forum for that is public school? Do you think it's a religious type school? Do you think it's a charter school with a different kind of admission? Or do you think it's homeschool? Do you think you're the best teacher for your child? I've been reading Mahatma Gandhi's biography, and I'm in the part of his biography when he was talking about educating children. He lived in sort of this communal farm where there were kids that were outside of his family, and he made it his mission to teach them as well. And he focused on teaching character first. And he said if they can learn that, then they can learn other things as they get older. And so that was like a type of homeschool where he was educating other people. And he really felt that it was his duty and mission to do that. And I've had some friends over the years who have felt the same way, that homeschool was the best school. And I've had some friends too that wanted their kids to be educated at a church school. And I've had friends too that have had sent their kids to charter schools, which are paid for by the state, but some of them have strict entrance exams and qualifications to get in. And then there's, of course, public school. Probably most people do it that way. But do you think that the state of Texas should be setting aside public money to pay for some people to send their kids to private schools? Call me. Talk to me. Some people argue that school choice is a game changer for families, empowering them to find the perfect fit for their kids and their unique situations, fostering healthy competition among schools. Of course, other people say that when you take away funding from the public school and give it to a private school, that you're hurting the public schools. It's my understanding that the way the governor and the legislature are trying to set this up for Texas this year is that it's a both and proposition, that public schools are going to be getting more money, teachers are going to be paid higher salaries, and they're going to be setting aside some money for educational savings accounts so that people with low income or disabilities can go to private schools too, have the opportunity to go to those schools. So I have some other questions for you. Call me at 210-308-8867, 210-308-8867. Have you or your family benefited from school choice or a voucher program? Or do you plan to benefit from that through this program in the state of Texas? Do you think these programs strengthen or weaken public education in the long run? Or if you could design the educational system, what would it look like? Call me at 210-308-8867, 210-308-8867. It is Saturday, April 19th, 2025. So you have to call in now, because if you hear this on podcast and you call in, I'm not going to be there. So this is now Saturday morning. It's about 11:23. I'm going to tell you about some similarities and differences between House Bill 2 and Senate Bill 2. House Bill 2 is a public education and public finance bill with an emphasis on increased funding for schools. Senate Bill 2 establishes educational savings accounts to fund private schooling and homeschooling. You think that's a good idea? Or do you think that's a bad idea? Some people on X, formerly known as Twitter, say that it's a way to help the rich get richer, to help them save money. It's for the elites. What would you say to that? Do you feel like that because you send your kids to a private school that you're somehow rich or that you're an elite? Let's talk about it. Call 210-308-8867, 210-308-8867. House Bill 2 allocates over $8 billion for public education, including $3 billion per student funding and teacher pay raises, $1.5 billion for special education, and nearly $1 billion for additional funding. I read somewhere that this is coming from a surplus in the Texas budget. Is that what you heard? Call me at 210-308-8867, 210-308-8867. Senate Bill 2 is said to provide public funds for families to pay for private school tuition, homeschooling, and related expenses, including $10,000 per student annually for private tuition, $11,500 annually for students with disabilities, $2,000 for homeschooling students or $2,500 for those homeschooling with disabilities. The funds are supposed to be managed through state-administered educational savings accounts. And some people say it protects private school autonomy by limiting state interference in the curriculum, admissions, or religious practices. So that there's a difference between the bills there. The Senate version has stronger language than the House version. How do you feel about school choice or school vouchers? Do you wish that your kids had the opportunity to attend a private school? Do you think that public schools are a den of drug dealers and troublemakers, and you wish that your kid could go to private school where discipline is more easily administered? Or do you think that public school offers the best education because the teachers are certified, because they have additional education requirements? Well, let's go to some of the opinions through X, formerly known as Twitter. Miss Darling says, let's be clear, school choice isn't about helping kids. It's about public funds feeding private networks, charter operators, tech vendors, real estate developers, lobbyist-backed nonprofits. This isn't reform, it's redistribution from classrooms to boardrooms. So you heard an opinion. Do you have an opposing opinion? Would you say that private school or school choice is going to help more kids? Or do you think that it's just to give more funds to public interest groups or lobbyist groups? Or do you think it's about enriching what this lady said, charter operators and tech vendors? Here's another one. Anan, a mouse, that's her handle on X, formerly known as Twitter. Today, property tax reform was an afterthought. You gave my property tax dollars to the wealthy so their kids can go to a private school that most kids can't even apply. So it's my understanding that the private schools don't have to compromise their admission standards. If somebody with low income can meet the admission requirements and standards to get in, then it's just a way to pay for that to help them be able to afford to attend that school. Of course, other people have an opposing view there. Here's another opinion by someone called Burl Robertson. He says, let's make this clear. You fought for your donors and the elite. Just tell the truth. I had mentioned that objection. Well, we've got to take another break, and when we come back, we'll continue the discussion about the San Antonio race for mayor and school choice. So stay tuned.
This has been Talk Law Radio with attorney Todd Marquardt, brought to you by the Marquardt Law Firm. You can learn more at marquardtlawfirm.com. And be sure to listen to the full Talk Law Radio show Saturday mornings at 11 on 9:30 a.m. The Answer.
Each week, attorney Todd Marquardt talks about the law. His mission with the Talk Law Radio show and podcast is to help you discover your legal issue blind spots. In the beginning, God had one law. Don't eat from the fruit of that tree. Then came the 10 Commandments. Now we have federal, state, and municipal lawmakers that won't stop creating new laws. Laws that might impact you without you knowing it. Listen to the show and drop a line on Facebook or email host@talklawradio.com and let the host know what you think of the show, the topics you want to hear, and whether you want to be a guest.